Hey everybody, I'm Joe.
And I'm Jake.
And this is the all-new Avenue 333BH. Jake, what are some of the specs on this thing?
This Avenue 333BH is just over 10,000 pounds dry and also just over 38 feet long.
Awesome. Let's go ahead and take a tour inside first.
Let's get started.
All right, Jake, so we're taking a step inside the all-new 333BH. Can you give us a quick high-level overview of this floor plan?
So we started our Avenue travel trailer lineup with our 332 RL, which is our couples coach version. This is our bunkhouse version. So overall, it's about the same size and dry weight. But what you find is the whole rear end is all centered around having extra people, kids, grandkids sleeping back there. We've actually made a pretty good amount of tweaks that I want to point out in this video. The main level here is where obviously all the entertaining is going to happen. So you have your kitchen, your sofa, your TV, fireplace, plenty of pantry storage space, and then up front you have your bathroom and your bedroom.
Awesome. Okay, let's go ahead and head into the bunk room and talk about all the great features back there now.
Just like everything else we do here at Alliance RV, functionality is one of the most important priorities we have. So this bunk area is centered around having those daily activities throughout, playing video games, just hanging out in here, as well as sleeping as many smaller children as possible. So what you'll find on the off-door side on the slide out is actually a trundle style sofa that throughout the day functions as a couch and then flips over as an extra sleeping area. And on the door side, what we did is maximize the storage capacity, and we actually have a nice outdoor kitchen, which I'll show you here in a moment. But we have plenty of storage with some dresser drawers, and then above that is a third bunk as well. So you have all day functionality and all night extra area to sleep, kids or grandkids. And also I do want to note there's a prep for a third air conditioner back here. Now let's move into the living space.
All right, so moving into the living space of the 333, you got this great large space here. Can you explain everything that's going on for everybody watching?
One thing I want to point out is where the Avenue travel trailer fits in our lineup of brands. The segment, the dry weight, the floor plan offering that we have here, one I want to point out, this is on a 101-inch wide body chassis, which is what you're used to hearing from anything we make in the Avenue, Valor, or the Paradigm lineup anyways. So having a travel trailer that's 5 inches wider, just like everything else we build, gives you all that extra real estate in the bunk area, the living area. And really, this living area here, this is the heart of the whole camper, right? All the action throughout the day is going to happen right here, and it starts with the sofa, but it also doesn't end there. So we have an extra dedicated pantry and a countertop area here, and right across from you and I, Joe, is the 50-inch TV. We have a fireplace down there, a little bit of extra storage, just really complementing the overall everyday functionality of this floor plan.
Yeah, absolutely. And you couple in the dinette that we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
You can see everybody that's sleeping.
Yeah, certainly.
Okay, let's go ahead and talk about the kitchen next, where you're gonna cook all those great meals. All right, so moving into the kitchen, Jake, I feel like I'm standing in a fifth wheel. It's beautiful. But some of the key features in here, you got that solid surface countertop, deep stainless steel sink. You have beautiful hardwood drawers with that silverware divider built in. And then behind me, you're gonna find a fifth wheel refrigerator with 16 cubic foot, 12 volts. And you're gonna have that 30-inch residential microwave, 3-burner cooktop stove with that pots and pans drawer down below, just hyper functional. And then also including, you got that massive pantry.
Correct, which is the second dedicated area of storage.
And you have that beautiful hutch area that has that aluminum backsplash that's heat resistant, and just tons of great storage over there.
Correct, and you made a great point where you feel like you're in an Avenue fifth wheel, right? And that's our approach with, like I mentioned earlier, it's gonna be the size and the dry weight of a very similar fifth wheel style. But if you're in that budget or price point and the capability of towing the fifth wheel, but you still live in the world of travel trailers, this is our best offering for that segment in the industry. So we're kind of making both of those lines meet there and giving you all the normal fifth wheel stuff that you're used to in our Avenue fifth wheel lineup, just here in a travel trailer.
why don't you take them to the net space next and talk about where they're going to eat all the food they cook in the kitchen.
Yeah, Joe, this configuration that we have here for the dinette is one of the staples that everyone's come to know and love, especially in our Avenue product lineup. This ottoman here is fully removable. It's configurable to have extra storage or a footrest if you're watching a movie, but also having the 2 chairs right across from it gives you plenty of cross-conversational seating or hanging out playing cards. But another thing you're gonna notice are the atrium window system. Remember, we've been doing that since day one, and that carries over into the Avenue travel trailer lineup. So this really is a great complement to this floor plan and this segment.
All great features. Why don't you go ahead and take them to the front of the coach and talk about everything up there next.
Absolutely. One of the compliments to this floor plan itself is the fact that you have full access to the bedroom as well as the bathroom with all of the slides in, or in what Josh the RV nerd calls road mode. Now in the bathroom, what you'll find is a vanity with storage behind it, an extra large stainless steel sink with storage below that. You have a 30 by 36 shower, and right next to that is your porcelain foot flush commode. And moving on, let's head into the bedroom. Up front in this Avenue 333BH travel trailer includes a 60 by 80 queen bed with plenty of storage on each side. In fact, there's even some hidden storage above the small countertop area that we have here. One important piece to note is up front in this linen closet, we do include a prep for a washer and dryer. And lastly, you will find its own air conditioner in the bedroom. Let's move on to our customer-driven features.
All right, Jake, let's go ahead and talk about those customer-driven features, which is the North Star here at Alliance RV. What are just some of those features you're going to find on every Avenue travel trailer?
Absolutely. Let's start with the ceiling. Now remember, we've been talking about it quite a lot, but it's one of those best camping features that we have is the fact that although it is standard with 2 air conditioners on here and prep for that third, by the way, you can still run both of these air conditioners off of a 30 amp service, but it also doesn't stop there. We have the taller slide outs, that atrium window system, like I mentioned. There's flush floor slide outs, the walls, the floors, this is all fully composite materials in here. Plumbing shutoff valves, that list just goes on and on to make sure that this is as well built of a product, just the same way as the floor plan makes as much sense as possible.
I love it. Let's go ahead and head outside and talk about all the great features you're going to find on the exterior of the 333BH.
Certainly.
All right, Jake, let's talk about one of the most important features. How's this thing built?
Absolutely. And just like the functionality, the floor plan, the features, and where this brand fits in our lineup, the construction is equally as important, right? So let's start with the roof, right? That's a full PVC roof membrane up there. Our sidewalls are all constructed with composite materials. It's aluminum cage construction in there. You're going to have supports throughout the windows, the openings, the baggage doors. We have the benchmark chassis as well, which we can talk about. But also it's a fully covered underbelly. There's 12-volt heat pads on here. It really is as equally functional as it is well built.
Yeah, I love that. That PVC roof, that lifetime warranty, patch repairable.
Absolutely.
We got those sidewalls that, again, are built very similar to the floor, giving you just 360 coverage of this thing.
That's correct.
Let's go ahead and head to the rear of the coach and talk about that exterior kitchen next.
Let's go.
All right, Jake. So I absolutely love this space because this is where I'd spend a lot of time if I was camping with my family in this. Explain all the great features in here.
So we had a lot of success with, for example, our Avenue 30BH and our Delta 321BH, right? Maximizing the outdoor kitchen area setup the way that we have is just worked out beautifully. So you have 40-inch TV up here, 2 refrigerators that flank each side of the 25-inch griddle grill combo with storage on each side. I'm really excited to deliver this part of the bunkhouse model here.
Yeah, this space is just hyper functional and I absolutely love it. Let's go ahead and head to the rear wall and talk about everything going on back there. All right, Jake, so moving on to the back wall back here. It looks ordinary, looks plain, but it's certainly not. What are some of the great features back here everyone's gonna find?
Good point. There is still a good amount of functionality features that we have back here. Let's start with the top part, which is that black dot. That's your universal backup camera prep. Moving below, you have your 50 amp outlet, which I wanna make this very clear. Both of those air conditioners are still gonna run off of that 30 amp service in the event you're at one of those campsites. Just below that, you have a 2-inch receiver hitch, and of course, you have the standard rear ladder.
Yeah, and you have that spray port back here. Great spot to clean your dog if it gets dirty, so it's not in the campsite of your coach.
That's correct.
Let's go ahead and head to the off-camp side and talk about all the great features over there next. All right, so moving to the off-camp side, let's talk about this massive pass-through storage area and all the features that are going on in here next.
So one of which you pointed out just a second ago was the outdoor spray port. We actually have 3 of them located on here. The second of 3 is right up front. This is all plumbed through the 60,000 BTU on-demand water heater. You're also gonna find the 3-way switches on this off-door side for your slide outs, which by the way, that's a full through frame rack and pinion slide out mechanism mechanism on both of them. But you also have some countersunk storage back there that is dedicated for your water pump, your charge controller, all of that stuff. But just the sheer size of this pass-through storage alone is one of the industry-leading features that we have.
Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about everything on the camp side of this pass-through next.
Yeah, of course. Now on the camp side of this front storage area, you're gonna find three-way switches that control the slide outs as well as the awnings. That third spray port, which again is plumbed through your hot water system. You're gonna find an LED diffused light, which offers ample lighting throughout this large pass-through storage. Some cable connections as well as USB charge ports.
Awesome. Let's go ahead and head to the front of the coach and talk about everything up there next. All right, so moving up to the front of the coach, you got that beautiful fiberglass automotive level front cap. What are some of the other great features up here that everyone's going to want to know about?
There's two major enhancements that I want to point out on the front end of our Avenue travel trailer lineup. Let's start with the fact that it's two standard 30-pound propane tanks, and then up front with our power tongue jack, this is also your control center for the 4-point electric auto leveling system.
All beautiful features. Let's go ahead and head to the campsite and talk about that performance running gear next.
Keeping you safe moving down the road is just as important as the floor plan itself, the functionality, and of course the overall quality and how we build our products. Now, what we came out with is what's called the performance running gear. This is going to give you standard Goodyear tires. Your shackle kits are twice as thick as status quo. We also have some welded V-bracket spring hangers, and to top it off, we have a 2-inch torsion tube that greatly reduces the amount of road shock that ultimately gets sent up throughout the shell of the unit. And the Moride CRE 3000. Now let's go talk about how we can learn more about this coach.
Everybody, thank you so much for taking the time to take a tour with us of the Avenue 333BH. Jake, how can they learn more about this floor plan?
We certainly did discuss a lot today, Joe. For more information, you can head right over to our website at alliancerv.com. Now, if you'd like to connect with us, Joe, how do they get a hold of us?
Yeah, so go to any social platform of your choosing and just search @AllianceRV. Everybody, thanks for taking the time again, and we hope that you choose to join the Alliance.
Thank you. So you want me to say 333BH?
No, I don't want you to, because I already said it. And to top it all off, why don't you talk about that dinette space where you're going to cook, not where you're going to eat all that beautiful food. Don't get on the dinette.
I've cooked at stranger places.
It is RV. Why don't you go ahead and take them to the dinette and talk about where they're going to eat all the beautiful food they cook. All right, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I got this. First.
Should I say we or you?
We, it's fine, because you're inviting them.
Okay.
Yeah, and to top it all off, let's go ahead and head over to that dinette space and talk about where everything, let me do that again.